Hi everyone, this is Real World Audio and this is a short episode and I am taking you guys to Arthur Salvatore's website. It's highendaudio.com and just because what he's saying, I could use the exact words to describe, and he's talking about the unavoidable rule in audio. And this unavoidable rule is you can never have it all. Everyone must make choices, and that means choosing priorities. And I do agree with this entirely. There is no single audio system that does everything to its most extreme. And what he adds here, anyone who says otherwise is either very ignorant or lying. And that's also true, I think. And that's just a little warning, this last sentence here about ignorance or not lack of sincerity, because often we read reviews and the reviewers get excited and they say, for example, this is the very best speakers I ever heard, or the best speakers on the planet, something like that. And about that statement, it is understandable that they are very excited. I often get, well, not often, but sometimes I do get such levels of excitement. But that excitement has boundaries, because it's not possible to build a technology that does everything to its limits. And I would say not to its limits, but because we live in an age where all the audio equipment, I would say not all of them, but most of them are specialized. And a lot of audio products, especially those ones where you get very spectacular sound that go for the show in the sound, the show happens when you overemphasize certain aspects of the sound. So for example, bass is overemphasized, or the top end is overemphasized, or certain bands of the frequency are overemphasized. People do not know it, but when you have but most actually all of the high-end companies who manufacture speakers, they know about it, that if you EQ certain bands of the spectrum, then you can make those loudspeakers sound as if they had deeper soundstage or wider imaging or taller soundstage. These can be manipulated by changing the parameters of your loudspeakers. However, if you change those parameters, then yes, those speakers will sound like having tremendously wide soundstage, but they will also edit the recordings you hear, and as a result of that, certain recordings will sound not as good and they will sound unnatural because of this constant processing of the sound. How can you recognize whether your stereo gear does this processing or not? It's very easy. Play very diverse material on it, very different labels, very different music genres, and if all of them have extremely wide image, for example, or all of them have excellent bass, then there's something wrong with your equipment, because the recordings are done all across the board. If your sound system doesn't process the sound, doesn't alter it, doesn't imprint its own signature, then when you play 10 very different recordings, it should sound very different in each and every case. So some of those will have absolutely uh, terrible imaging, and others will image like there's no tomorrow. And you can tell whether you have a system that is what I would call a refined system, that it lets you hear what is on the recording. And the popular systems that are presented to us as the highest end of the high end are ones that do not behave in this fashion, but they force out the detail level, they force out the imaging, they force out the bass. And because they do that sort of processing, that's why they are unable to play a wide range of recordings. So when you find equipment, stereo equipment, that can only play a handful of recordings, but it does a spectacular job on it, that's because it does a lot of processing to the sound. And that's why it can only play those recordings because it's fine-tuned, it's specialized to play those, to offer a show for those recordings. But that's why it fails miserably on 99.999% of the recorded material that we have. So that's why you can never have it all. So either you have a system that is highly specialized to play 5 recordings and then fails miserably with the rest, or you can have a solution that just shows you what is on the recording. So thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.